Welcome to Visual Basic Programming 1, and we're looking at today the assignment 7, Sample Program in Delegates and Events. In programming, an event is something that is triggered by some kind of an action. Okay, the user might click, put in some input, a form might be submitted, or it might be the result of a loop. In any event, an event is a trigger for an action. Three things have to happen when you program an event. First, you have to declare the event. You have to you have to specify access to the event, and you have to give it a name and a parameter. Okay. Then you give the scope of the event. What kind of functions does it handle, if any, right? Then you have some kind of a handler, some kind of an event name, and the address of my function, whatever you've defined in here that you're going to call. And then you define that action. Then finally, you have to raise the event, and you raise it with the event name. So what are we doing for this assignment? We're doing an events practice exercise, and you're writing a program to print only even numbers between 6 and 16 using events. Normally, you wouldn't do this with an event, but this is just an exercise, okay? Here we are in Visual Basic, and we're about to do exercise 7.2, the sample program. So I'm here in Visual Basic, and I'm going to be opening this. I'm going to name this sample program, just like the exercise is called. Make it one word, and click, make sure it's a console application, click OK. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to do our event. Is this program? I'm just going to type it in here. Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm declaring the event. Print this. So what this function is going to produce is going to produce a value that's an integer. So next I write my submain function. Now I'm going to define my code. Add handler, print this address of my function. What I intend to do is I intend to define my function and another sub function. So now I'm going to ask my program to perform my task. Once again, this is going to be another sub function I described below. And then I'm going to perform a read line of whatever is in the console. So now that I've kind of got my recipe together, I'm going to put in I'm going to define my other sub functions here. So I'm going to start with perform my task. So there's another sub called my function. And what does it produce? It produces no, which is a number, as an integer, no. Then at this particular point, the console is going to write the line. Of course, now I've got to write another sub function. So click enter. And I write my next sub function, perform my task as I have up here, right? Now we're going to perform finally the main task that we were assigned to do. We're going to run a for loop. We're going to print the even numbers from 6 to 16, right? So what do I need to do next? This is our for loop. Now I add another statement to this. Now I add another statement to this. So finally, we're going to tell it print even numbers. If this statement is true, we want to run this function. That's really all we have to write. So we save everything, call it sample program, and then we debug it. Click our debugger. There you go. And it writes all even numbers from 6 to 16. Okay, normally you wouldn't do an event to do something this simple, but it's just an example of how to do an event. Okay, I hope that helps you. And yes, you can turn in a text file. Okay, you don't have to send it in as a Visual Basic file.